Hello everyone, and after a very, very long time out of the den decoration scene, I'm back and better than ever. Today we're going to be decorating the new Big Top den. Well, it's not really new now, it's probably over a month old, but we're decorating a new den, and we're not doing it as you normally would expect. For some reason, when I first saw this den, I'm like, this would be a good house, so I'm using it as a house instead of, a normal circus. Don't ask me why, I honestly don't know either. So first we started by putting a rug in the middle, because the middle is going to be the living room. These, what are they? I think they're Himalayan cat rugs. They're very nice. The heart shape makes a okay rug if you use 5 of them together. Next we're starting up our kitchen. And by starting up the kitchen, we're using the vintage kitchen. Originally, I was going to try to go with the 70s theme for this house, but by the end of this video, you're going to notice that all the themes are messed up, but I mean, it still looks pretty cool. So, the vintage kitchen, we tried adding the woolly salon desk, because that's what I used before I got those vintage kitchen items. And for the seating arrangement, I'm going to add diner. What are those? Diner. It's not diner booth. Whatever that diner item is called, okay? Diner counter, obviously. We're adding diner counters there, and a diner booth, bench, stool. Okay. Kitchen's pretty much done. As you can see, I'm going to add maybe some wall items later on. And, like the butterfly painting. I don't know, looks cool. And, I mean, every kitchen has a calendar and clock, right? I mean, at least mine does. So I added it in there. Next, we're making this the bedroom. And one of the hardest things to do by making an Animal Jam bed is actually finding the headboard. There are a few good options, but the one I went for was the dog sofa. It is tall enough that it actually looks like a headboard. And my favorite rug to use is the eagle rug, because it just is flat and it looks very well on a bed. There's not that much space in this room, so I had to rearrange things a few times. It had some plushies, stuff like that. The usual stuff that you would put inside a bedroom, obviously. And I also wanted to make it feel like it had a closet as well, so I used 2 of the Siberian bi-panel doors or whatever to make a closet-looking thing. But yeah, it was a lot of trouble. Eventually, I also wanted to use some sort of shelves or something, but I eventually scrapped that, and I just went with a normal-looking armoire thing. So, having a look at it here, we have a few rooms left, obviously, and I think the safari windows will work very well here. I mean, now it just looks like, oh, we have big walls. Gotta say, my favorite sofa or couch or whatever word in the whole game is the safari one. The red just pops out, and it makes any den you use it in, to be honest, better. I then used the Leilani Lucky Clover table and a sandstone lamp to make a table on a lamp. Lamp on a table! Sorry. I went for the big boxy TV because this den really is modern. So now we're going with, 90s or something. This TV is actually pretty cool. I wish you could get the other colors, though. But, I mean, you're only able to get the one color through the bundle. Okay, next, I am searching for my items, and we're going to start a storage room. For some reason, I always love making storage rooms in my dens. I don't know why, there's no use to them, but they just look cool, and I guess it's an excuse for me to show off plushies and stuff I have that I wouldn't put in there anyway. But now, for some reason, I went to go start on the library or den. No, I am not talking about the den in a whole. I'm talking about specifically that section. Okay, so we changed the armoire that looked like this, so I don't know. And then I remembered spa partitions existed, so I added those in the back because I kind of wanted a little hallway room to exist behind the TV, so it kind of looked like the TV was against a wall. And I also wanted a separate room for the storage, kind of look like, oh yeah, no one goes in there, it's closed off. And then I looked for something to put on these tall shelves. And I looked and looked and looked until I eventually found the Jamalade candle, one of those new items that I forgot about, but now I love because it looks realistic. And then I didn't know what to put inside there, but then I'm remembering like what kind of room doesn't have a desk, and then I look at my own room. So this front is going to be the front of the house. And then I remembered that the painter columns existed, and I have like 12 of them. And I don't know, if it wasn't for the paintbrush, I would use these way more. They're nice looking, but like you have to angle it so the paintbrush doesn't look like an actual paintbrush, and it's annoying. So I started playing around with this and made the corner with that door look like an actual room. Those bi-panel doors are so useful. I used them to make a little mini house out of the Beach House Cabana once, but that's off topic. So now we're decorating the storage room a little more. I added that Phantom plushie up there because, I mean, why not? I can't actually put anything up there unless I use like pillows or something. And I wanted this room to look neglected. So instead of having a fancy light, I'm going to use the steampunk hanging lantern. I mean, who doesn't have a used chair in their storage room? So I added that as well. The more plushies, the better. And what I always say is, cameras. And a Jamalade gift. I love my Jamalade gift. And a boombox. So then I also, while I was there, added some decorations for the front, and I eventually said, you know what, why not? Let's just make a front wall. This is also another thing that I use for that mini cottage thing that I talked about briefly. Those ranch windows are very nice. Yeah, I tried doing it here. It did not work out well. So I then found this oven thing from the new bundle, and I absolutely love it. It matches this den perfectly. You know how those like big living rooms have those giant fireplaces? Yeah, exactly that feeling. And the marshland crate is the best. I absolutely love how they look. That's the closest you're gonna get to a cardboard box in this game, because I guess cardboard doesn't exist or something. And then I added the Voyager display case to make it cover that area, which I would have had a wall, but I didn't have any walls because there's no tall walls in this game. So then I added some more junk into the room. And one thing I absolutely love to do is use those no, I don't love using stone arm bars. I absolutely love using the spot partition and the shoji screens to make separate rooms smaller out of what would normally be a very big room. This works for dens like these because eventually you'll start seeing that, wow, this room is gigantic. It's way too big. So now I'm going to be moving that steampunk lantern off the wall and make it in the center of the room, because I mean that would make more sense. So how I did this was I used the Cat Mansion pillar. That's like the only pillar that actually came stackable, so I used that to get it up there. It took a few tries because I don't know, this is not how the game's supposed to be played. You're not supposed to put stuff hanging in the middle of the world. Okay, so then I decided to start working on the study or library or den or whatever it is. I want this to look like one of those stereotypical. Oh yeah, it's a nice cozy area that has like those two chairs in front of the fireplace that the old guys always talk in. Yeah, one of those. So I use the Rocks rocking chair because that's the most chair-like thing for my description. And I like these teak potted plants. They're nice. So yeah, I spread them out a little more and added a steampunk table as a coffee table because that's I think the closest glass-looking table we have. I then also put some books on top of here to make it again not look barren, and then I contemplated my life for a few minutes, thinking about if the sugar glider thing should go in here, and then I eventually said no. I mean, yeah, true. So anyway, do you see that bouncing frog? I sure do. I then found a cat clock, which I absolutely love that item. And then I found the origami window, which looks like modern art. I decided to put the modern art in the kitchen because that's obviously where you would put it. And then I put a map of Jaman here because the founder's map looked a little too clunky, I think. So then I added into the den area a main wolf clock and moved over the cat clock to the kitchen because I thought it matched more well there. I then added a royal candle and started looking for my next thing, which is what I don't know where that clock came from. It was there, and then I guess I removed it. Okay, so then we're finally starting on the outside, and this outside is gonna be semi different than the house, obviously. What I'm expecting to do is some sort of haunted forest type area. And first off, I'm going to do that by covering up some of the attractions and make it look kind of overgrown. I don't want this to look like a circus. I want it to look like a den. So I added some pumpkins and some mushrooms to make it feel like a, I don't know, haunted forest or whatever. Uh, yeah, a lot of mushrooms. And from my experience, it seems if you want to make a good natural area, you got to add a lot of plants. I also added these hedges in the front to make it look more like an actual house and rather just, oh yeah, this guy for some reason built a house inside of a big top tent. So I then grew the beanstalks because for some reason you can't keep them grown. It's kind of annoying. And I added more mystical flowering trees because those are the most grim looking normal trees. I wish I had more than just 3. I added more spooky trees because, again, we're going for a haunted forest look, and I found the Eco Jamalade tree, which I put in my storage room because that was a thing it was missing. I then added one of the new mushroom trees, and I'm starting to make a gnome house because I don't know. For some reason, a gnome wants to live out here, and I mean, I can't blame him. It's pretty nice. So I added 3 smoothie huts together because that's my favorite tiny house combination, and I also added a mushroom throne to make it look overgrown. I added that bench, which you should never go sit on because it's in the middle of a haunted forest, and more clover bushes because they're orange. I added the stepping stone things, the flower patch I think it's called, and I put them around some trees as well, the extras I had. And the reason why I use those is because I honestly think they are the closest thing to patches of grass other than that patches of grass item. That item is too small and I am never going to use it. Okay. So I wanted an archway, and I eventually went for the botanical archway because, I mean, it looks the most real looking. I added some animal models around to make this place look more lively. I was eventually going to change them, but I never actually changed them. The random animals are pretty funny. I guess the alien goat is the gnome. So yeah, here is the final product, the Enchanted Forest. I'm making myself jump for some reason. It came out very nicely, and then we go inside the actual house. The living room is one of my favorite rooms. Then we have the den or library. And then we have the kitchen, which I think looks pretty cool. We have the storage room, which again looks pretty cool. We could swing back over to the den. And then I also have my bedroom as well. And then we have the Enchanted Forest, the Gnome House, and the grown over cotton candy area. As normal, I'll probably have this den for about a month or whatever until I decorate my next one. If you want to go check it out, then just go look up my user. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. I kind of forgot how fun it was to go den decorating. So if you like my content, then why not subscribe? And with that, this is Brad Stormer, storming out.